Shalom Akim. All praise and glory and honor to Yahweh Bashmiah Shai, Bahak, Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of the great millstone. And peace and blessings to the elect. I have another edition of GMS News and Prophecy. But instead of going through articles and filtering through the scriptures like I usually do, I'm gonna read the prophecy in the scriptures, and I have a series of video clips that I'm going to show you to show you how the prophecies in the Bible, in these scriptures, are taking place, shaping and forming and manifesting themselves in the earth today. First and foremost, America is Babylon the Great. Is also known as the Great Whore in the book of Revelation. And it's a part of the beast, which the beast represents a system that started with the pagan Roman Empire. And then once the pagan Roman Empire fell, it was rebirthed and brought back again during the time of the Renaissance through the conquering of the West by mainly France, Great Britain, and Spain. All right, in which from Great Britain you have America, and America has grown into its own head of the beast, so to speak, and has now become the great city that ruleth over the different nations and kings in the earth via war and via policies, such as being allowed to sanction other countries, veto certain resolutions that come through the United Nations, which is a revival of the beast, the United Nations, along with the EU, the European Union. And America is going to be destroyed for its wickedness. And these other allied nations and enemies of America are going to destroy America. They're the ones that's going to destroy America. Of course, alongside the Lord, his chariots, which you have a big thing in the news right now dealing with the UFOs, so-called UFOs, which are known as the angels and the chariots of God and Israel in the scriptures. All right. But these other nations, they're going to destroy America. They're going to destroy the whore. And I'm going to read that prophecy in the scriptures. And you're going to see, after I read the scripture and I show the video clips, you're going to see how they begin to hate the whore. All right? These nations will hate the whore because prophecy must be fulfilled. And it's all over the news. Okay? If you can put the pieces together, but through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashmiah Shai, I'm going to put the pieces together for you. Things that have happened within the last week up until today and to what's going to happen tomorrow, December 21st. So I'm just going to read this prophecy, and then I'm going to play these video clips, and I hope brothers are edified. Shalom. All right, this is Revelation 17:11. It says, "And the beast that was and is not, even he is the eighth and is of the seven, and goeth into perdition," which means judgment. All right. "And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. These have one mind and shall give their power and strength unto the beast." Now this is dealing with the formation of the European Union and NATO, along with America being the spearhead. Okay. All right. All right, because they all have come into agreement with each other. Okay. It says, "These shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them. For he is Lord of lords and King of kings, and they that are with him are called chosen and faithful." I mentioned the UFO signs because once things pop off, these UFOs, which are the chariots of the Lord, and the Lord is among them, all these other nations are going to stop fighting themselves amongst each other and start fighting these your foes, but they're going to lose. Okay? But let's continue on this prophecy. It says, and he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest where the whore sitteth, which I mentioned before is America, are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. All right, which is America. America has all peoples, all multitudes, all nations within its borders. And you watch the news, you know that there's a lot of tension right now between the so-called blacks and Hispanics, Native Americans and the so-called white man, but also dealing with these Muslims and these white supremacists, you know, and the other nations caught in between. So that's their whore, okay? America. It says in the 10 horns, which, like I said, is NATO and the EU, which thou sawest upon the beast, which are a part of this system, all right? This new world order system. It says, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. Now, this is the main point I want to get, all right? These nations are going to start to hate America. All right? These nations shall start to hate America. These shall hate the whore. All right? And it's happening as we speak. You know, it's football season, basketball season, so our people, so-called black fans and Native Americans, are not concerned. They go to their soccer games, their concerts. But this is really what's going on in the earth. Prophecy. It says they shall hate it says these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. For the Most High hath put it in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree, and give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of the Most High shall be fulfilled. And the woman which thou sawest is that great city, which is America, which reigneth over the kingdoms of the earth. Which is why now you're going to see them start to come against America. All right? So like I said, I'm going to show these video clips, and I'm going to show you how they hate the whore. All right? Pursuing to verse 16. All right? So like I said, this is GMS News and Prophecy. Hope brothers are edified and will be edified. Shalom.
What we witnessed here today in the Security Council is an insult. It won't be forgotten.
As recent events in the region have shown, these decisions are unhelpful to the prospects for peace in the region.
Il n'y a pas d'alternative à la solution des deux États. Pas de solution des deux États sans accord entre les parties sur Jérusalem.
I like the message that Nikki sent yesterday at the United Nations for all of these nations that take our money and then they vote against us at the Security Council, or they vote against us potentially at the Assembly. They take hundreds of millions of dollars and even billions of dollars and then they vote against us. Well, we're watching those votes. Let them vote against us. We'll save a lot. We don't care. But this isn't like it used to be where they could vote against you and then you pay them hundreds of millions of dollars and nobody knows what they're doing. So, Nikki, that was the right message that you and I agreed to be sent yesterday, and I've had a lot of good comment on it, believe me. People are tired of the United States. The people that live here are great citizens that love this country. They're tired of this country being taken advantage of, and we're not going to be taken advantage of any longer.
President Donald Trump has threatened to cut aid to UN members who vote for a resolution that condemns the US decision recognising Jerusalem as the capital of Israel.
They take hundreds of millions of dollars and even billions of dollars and then they vote against us. Well, we're watching those votes. Let them vote against us. We'll save a lot.
Let's get more on this story now from our correspondent Caleb Morpin. Joins us from New York. What's been happening then? What's Donald Trump up to this time?
Well, we hear these words from U.S. President Donald Trump essentially threatening to cut aid to countries that vote for the upcoming UN General Assembly resolution. Now, we'll recall recently how there was a vote at the United Nations Security Council regarding this issue. There was a resolution presented by Egypt that would have essentially rendered the U.S. decision to recognize Jerusalem as Israel's capital and move its embassy to Jerusalem. It would have essentially rendered it null and void. Well, that resolution was voted for 14-1, with every other country represented at the UN Security Council voting for it, but the USA voting against it, and the USA being a permanent member, it was then, at that point, it was vetoed. It was defeated because a permanent member does have the ability to overrule any resolution. So let's take a kind of a review of what went on at the UN Security Council when there was a 14-1 vote.
Here with us today.
The status of Jerusalem as the future capital of two states
should be determined through a negotiated settlement between the Israelis and the Palestinians.
Any decision and actions which purport to have altered the character and status of Jerusalem have no legal effect.
Any unilateral actions increase the risk of escalating the conflict.
We support the just cause of restoring the legitimate national rights of the Palestinian people.
Now, at this point, there seems to be so much outrage in response to Trump's decision regarding Jerusalem that at this point it's being taken beyond the UN Security Council to the United Nations General Assembly, which is planning to have a vote. Now, it's important to note that this decision, which will be, voted on by the UN General Assembly, that's every member state, that decision will not be binding. However, at this point, we've seen Nikki Haley, who is the U.S. ambassador to the United Nations, get on Twitter and warn that she is taking names of countries that vote for this resolution. Now, furthermore, there is a letter that has surfaced that's purported to be a letter from Nikki Haley to various UN member states. The authenticity is not yet confirmed, but it seems to this letter that has been circling talks about how Donald Trump appears to be taking personally anyone who votes for this resolution in the UN General Assembly. So as this unpopular decision was taken by the United States, the USA recognizing Jerusalem as Israel's capital, sparking protests and anger around the world and opposition in the international arena. It seems that as a vote is pending in the UN General Assembly, that it's almost as if some effort to intimidate or threaten member states that would vote for a resolution condemning the United States is being taken. It seems like pressure is being put on countries in the hopes that this will keep them from voting for this resolution criticizing the move by the United States. So all eyes are on the UN General Assembly, and we will see how these statements from U.S. leaders, this talk about taking names, this letter, which is not yet confirmed, we'll see how this affects the upcoming vote at the UN headquarters here in New York.
Controversy continues to be Donald Trump's middle name. Caleb Morpin bringing us up to date there. Thank you. Meanwhile, Turkey is accusing the US and other countries ahead of the vote on Thursday of condemning Trump's statement on Jerusalem, adding Washington should change its course.
The Turks have always been passionate about the Palestinian cause. Despite the Ankara chill, protesters spent 3 hours listening to music and speeches. They waved Turkish and Palestinian flags and a fair amount of anti-American signs.
Turkey is a majority Muslim country that acts unified and together. It should lead in the Muslim world. If Muslims are united, I'm hopeful the Jerusalem problem will be sorted.
Since U.S. President Donald Trump broke with decades of American policy and recognized Jerusalem as the capital of Israel, the Turkish street has been vocal. And President Recep Tayyip Erdogan has emerged as a potent advocate for Palestinians. He's pushing for leaders to take their condemnation and transform it into action. Erdogan is taking his case to the UN Security Council, where he says he hopes to, quote, annul Trump's decision. It's unlikely he'll get much traction, given that the United States holds veto power. But he says, barring success there, he'll move on to the UN General Assembly. It's clear Turkey plans on continuing to persist and highlight this issue on the geopolitical stage.
I am actually very glad of the Trump Jerusalem decision, as it serves to unite the Muslim world and get them into action.
In the most populous Muslim country, an estimated 80,000 Indonesians marched to the American embassy in Jakarta. Muslim clerics are calling for a boycott of American and Israeli products until Trump reverses his decision.
I want all Muslims to unite and to urge the President of America to reconsider his decision for the good of all of humanity.
That's unlikely, considering that Trump says this is a recognition of reality, and it's in the best interests of the U.S. and the Israeli-Palestinian peace process. But protesters don't see it that way. In Karachi, thousands showed up for what was called the Holy City Million March. Almost 2 weeks after Trump's announcement, people continue to show their solidarity for Palestinians, and in doing so, have also revived global attention to their plight. Natasha Ganaim, Al Jazeera, Ankara.
All right, Shalom Akim. I just showed you the clips. Lord willing, you was able to see how things are unfolding. Now, I believe that was about 4 or 5 clips, all from different news outlets, you know, RT, Al Jazeera. I believe I had a new one on there with India. So hopefully, but as you can see, all these different, although it was different news stations, they were still reporting on the same thing, and you could still see the story. You know, this whole Jerusalem situation is an international situation. It's a global situation. It's a prophetic situation, because it's dealing with the city of the Lord. It's dealing with the Most High's precious and joyous city. Okay, and if I can get a scripture real quick, the book of Psalms, Psalms chapter 48, verse 1. It says, a song and psalm for the sons of Korah. It says, great is the Lord Yahweh, and greatly to be praised in the city of our power, and the mountain of his holiness, which is his people first, and then his city. It says, beautiful for situation, the joy of the whole earth is Mount Zion, on the sides of the north, the city of the great king. It says, the Most High is known in her palaces for a refuge. All right, because that's where he put his chosen people there, the Israelites. It says, for lo, the kings were assembled. They passed by together. They saw it, and so they marveled. They were troubled and hasted away. It says, fear took hold upon them there, and pain is of a woman in travail. Thou breakest the ships of Tarshish with an east wind. All right, this is dealing with these other nations over there, and how they view the city of the Lord, Jerusalem, and how they view his people. Okay, they're scared of that place, but because the Lord is there, and they know that that's the Lord chosen city. All right, the Lord chosen city. It says, as we have heard, so have we seen in the city of the Lord of hosts, in the city of our power. The Most High will establish it forever. Selah. Okay, so we understand that Jerusalem, which is the city of Zion, Mount Zion, that's the joy of the whole earth. All right. So let's go to the book of Zechariah. I think it's the ninth chapter. Okay. Let's see. Right. This is Zechariah chapter 12. All right. Verse 2. It says, "Behold, I will make Jerusalem a cup of trembling unto all the people round about." And we see that now. Okay. It says, "When they shall be in the siege, both against Judah and against Jerusalem. And in that day will I make Jerusalem a burdensome stone. And in that day will I make Jerusalem a burdensome stone for all people. All that burden themselves with it shall be cut in pieces, though all the people of the earth be gathered together against it." All right. Because the people that burn themselves with the city of Jerusalem, these heathen nations, and trying to make it the capital, and look, those people don't belong there. Those Palestinians, those mix of Edomites and Ishmaelites, they don't belong there. All right, those Moabites and Ammonites is all up in there. They don't belong there. Neither do those false Israelis, those Amalekites. They don't belong there. That belongs to that city belongs to the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, which are the true Jews, the true Israelites. And all you people that burn themselves with it, this is why you go to war. Okay? All right? This is why there is war in that land. Okay? Because the people of the Lord are not there. All right? And it's become a burdensome stone, a burdensome city for all people. Okay? And especially when they come against the men of the Lord, the true people of Jerusalem, around the world and here in Babylon, we're going to have spiritual power. And the Lord Yahweh Bashmiah Shai is going to deliver us and save us through his chariots. Okay? And then America is going to be destroyed by all these different nations, all these countries. And that's what you see in the news. You see this Jerusalem situation being exploded, which is eventually going to lead into a global conflict during World War III. All right? All right? So, we're here. The prophecies of the Lord are coming to pass. All right? So with that, I'm going to give all praises to Yahweh Bashmiah Shai. Hope you were edified and seeing how prophecy and the news, how they go hand in hand. Brothers, just keep watching, keep praying for our kingdom is at hand. Shalom.